another, obviously, dynamo in our business. How do you find out what your customers want? You might want to ask them because they're there to learn. So why don't you take it and go?
I can't wait till Andrew gets some conviction and really believes in the things that he talks about. So I want to actually use this one for a minute. So I hope you guys enjoyed Michael's presentation. You know, one of the things that we wanted to happen that we haven't done in the past is actually somebody see from the beginning to the end what a sales call should look like. So with Andrew, myself, Milka, Charlie, it's going to be a lot of the stuff you saw in his presentation or you're going to hear about, just broken down a little bit differently with emphasis on a few things. Andrew talked about control and how important the greeting is. And you know, my topic is going to be asking questions. So the first thing, though, I think it's really, really important, and he kind of touched on it, where we spend hours and weeks preparing for this one opportunity to get people to walk through the door. And we get them, they come in, and what happens? And I think I was talking to Kevin about this a while ago, and we were trying to figure out, you know, what is it that we do, or why are we so unique compared to any other company that does fundraising? And what you have to understand is we are trying to create the best customer buying experience for a mattress that's out there. Now, that being said, I dare anybody to tell me where they can go, have more fun, have a better experience than buying a mattress at one of our events. Somebody tell me. And not to knock on a retail store, but the reality is people don't like going in there. So these people do get up, take a shower, get in their car, drive across town, walk through the school, and they're excited to be there. So it's our job, once they're there, to make sure they have the best experience possible. And that's making sure that our people are trained, you know, and understand what has to happen. So the topic is, again, asking questions and involving the customer. So, number one, if you don't involve the customer, Bert's video, you don't have a sale, and you have a pretty bad experience, right? So that's the one thing you have to understand, is that customer is there for us to be involved with them and make sure that they have the best experience possible. So asking questions. Asking questions is really the glue that keeps the process, and that's the sales process, moving forward. If it's done right and the process can be made to feel seamless, feels natural, and it basically starts with the question of hello, and at the end of the day, will you buy a mattress from me? So the more questions you ask, the more answers you're going to get. So what we're going to kind of talk about a little bit is, number one, why questions are important, the types of questions that you can ask, different questions for different parts of the process, and then, and you guys hopefully got, there was like a 3-page with a bunch of just sample questions on there. And that's just for you to throw in your arsenal. And, you know, like AO says, on a busy day, I'm not going to have time to sit here and do a presentation where I can ask 50, 60 questions, get all that stuff in here. But here's what's interesting. We'll talk about, you know, being a student. When I got this topic, and I've been selling for 30 years, I know I don't look that old, I actually am like, all right, well, I got to figure out even what that means. And I Googled asking questions in the sales process. Wow, there's a lot of stuff on asking questions in the sales process. And all of a sudden, I had all these questions pop up, and it just made me realize, number one, I forgot a lot of this. So now I'm excited that I have all these new questions to ask, but also there's just a lot of stuff I got to keep relearning and learning. So that's what we talk about being a student is now I have to go back and make sure that my people understand all this stuff because that's going to make the experience better for the people when they come in that day. So why are questions important? Well, number one, a question creates a conversation, right? That's what we're trying to do. Questions show that we care. We're trying to find out information, that we're there to help. Questions help build rapport and trust. Questions help the customer feel more comfortable. You're asking things about them. They'll open up. It helps gain control, or helps gain and maintain control of the process, right? If you're asking questions, they're following you. You're in the lead. So the more questions you ask and direct, they're going to be following you and staying on your hip. They help uncover and identify possible objections before they become, right? You ask questions, you find out problems, you have that information that later on you can use to help make that close. Help discover needs and wants, right? When they come in, that's part of what we're doing. We have to help figure out what it is they came in for. You get that person that comes in and says, I'm just looking. What he's saying is, I don't know what I want. I need some help. Okay? That's what he's saying. And like Andrew said, the answer is great. What are you looking for? Okay? Questions allow you to move the process forward. Here's what you guys have to understand. Sales is a process. It has to keep moving. If it doesn't, it gets stalled, and then you're stuck. And then that's when you either got to turn it over to somebody else, or in a lot of cases, you lose the sale. So, some tips for asking good questions. This was really important. Ask one question and let the customer answer. I don't know how many times people ask a good question, and then all of a sudden, they jump in with answers. Because we want the customer to hear what we think we want to hear. Right? So, what are you looking for in a new bed? Do you want it soft? Do you want it firm? Tell me, what do you want? Well, how about if you go, what are you looking for in a new bed? Well, I want it to last more than 5 years. Didn't expect that answer, right? Well, why? What happened? Another question. But if you let them answer, they'll actually tell you what they want. It's amazing. So the types of questions that we ask. And again, this isn't magic. But there's two types. There's open-ended questions, which are important questions that we gather information and get customers to give us feedback. They're normally in how and what type of questions. They require more than a yes or no answer. Okay? What do you like about how this mattress feels? Got to give you an answer. Close-ended questions. Questions that you ask when you're trying to either get a yes or no, or you're trying to steer them in a particular directions. You'd like to get a better night's sleep, wouldn't you? Yes. I bet this bed is more comfortable than the one you have at home, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Which bed do you like better, this one or that one? Directional. So you've just got to know there are times to ask when you're trying to gather information, and then there's times when you're trying to direct someone in a specific situation. Oops. Did I get that? Okay. So, anybody here or know about mirroring? Okay? So mirroring is basically when you either mimic or do similar things that the person has, whether it's the way you're standing, your speech pattern, or the speed that you talk with someone. But there's also a thing called word mirroring. And what that is basically you repeat 1 to 3 words of what the customer just said previously. So, for example, how have you been sleeping lately? Awful. Awful? Yeah, I can toss and turn all night. Right? All of a sudden, that one-word answer, you got to feel more comfortable and expand it. tells you a little bit more. You know, what's another good one? I don't know, I can't think of it at the moment. I just did that. So, different questions, different parts of the greeting, or different parts of the process. So the greeting, again, as Andrew talked about a lot of it, we use questions here to build rapport. General open-ended questions to start a conversation. Hi, my name's Michael. What's your name? It's your first question. Hey, have you ever been to one of our events before? No. Great. Let me tell you how everything works. Have you been to one of our events before? Yes. Great. Let me tell you how everything works. Okay? It's the same thing. If you get the time, and this is what Michael Davio does really, really well, is you do one, this is where you, remember, people buy from people that they like. So we have to try to create that trust, friendship, as quickly as possible. But things like, if they do have their kids there, talk about their kids. If a guy's got a baseball hat on, oh, you're a Met fan. Yes, great, have a conversation. You know, what brought you in today? You know, again, that could be, oh, my grandson. Or it could be, I need a new mattress. But again, ask the question and let them answer. Information gathering and needs analysis. This is the part where you've kind of tried to establish rapport, and now you're going to get ready to start putting them on beds. This is where you're trying to find out what it is that they're looking for and they want. So this is where the customer will, you know, if you do it right, you'll give them the opportunity to really open up and then be able to direct them to the things that will help them sleep better. And if you guys look, there's a whole list of questions there. You know, who will be sleeping on the mattress? Who's looking for a better night's sleep? How long have you been sleeping uncomfortably? What's the most important thing you're looking for in a new mattress? Have you been out shopping for mattresses? How long have you been looking for mattresses? Where have you been? Okay? There's just a ton of questions where you can gather information here. The money question. I found this and I absolutely love this question. Imagine you've greeted everybody, you've got some needs, and you say, are you guys familiar with all the different mattress style and comfort levels that are out there or that are available? No. Great. I can take you anywhere I want. Think about that. Are you familiar with all the different mattress styles and comfort levels that are available? Come on. Adjustable bases, IntelliBed, air beds. If you can't put someone on a big bed now with that type of question, and they're gonna say no, obviously they don't know all of them, you have carte blanche to help them find the best thing for them. I don't care if they're, at this point, if they're even looking for a guest room. You still show them what's the newest thing. That, to me, is just, that's a great question, or something like that. Do you guys agree?
Yes. Yes.
Good question. So, demonstration. And this is what Michael does, to me, extremely well, Davio. Again, here we're going to do a lot of questioning regarding sleep, regarding how the bed feels, preferences, and then also trying to move them specifically into different beds based on what they tell you. So for those, there's all kinds of, how does that feel? What do you like about how this bed feels? What part of the night do you sleep best? Beginning, middle, end, which was done. Do you get treatment for your pain? Has a physician ever recommended a mattress for you? Does your back hurt in the morning and feel better later? There's just all kinds of questions, and I challenge you guys to go out and find them, because it really does make a difference. But what's happening through this now is you're moving through the process seamlessly, and you're having conversations. So it doesn't, I know we always talk about, well, we're different, we're not retail salesy. Having a conversation and helping someone is not retail salesy if you truly mean it. If the questions you ask are genuine, and it comes across that way, the reason Michael, and I keep bringing Michael up because he came to my place, and like I said, I've been selling for 30 years, and this guy helped me. if you take the interest of the person that you're with seriously, you will have great results. You really will. The closing, first thing is understand that the closing can happen at any part of the process if the customer gives you buying signals. So there's no thing where you have a script and you sit there and you go, are we good? Pay attention, ask me questions along the way, and Charlie's going to talk a lot about the closing, so I'm not going to get too involved in that. So here is my conclusion. I want to think about it for a second, because I haven't written it. Just kidding. We truly get, for the most part, one opportunity with these customers. Okay? And again, Andrew said it perfectly. How much blood, sweat, and tears, weeks, time, money do we spend getting up to this? And we always talk about the day is the easiest part. And it is. Because if we've done everything right, people will walk through the door. The question is this: what happens when they walk through the door? Do we maximize the opportunity, obviously for ourselves and for the school, but at the end of the day, are we doing the best we can to put these people into the best product that's going to help, in a lot of cases, change their life or make them sleep better? That's why they came in. So, become a student. Get good at asking questions. Look up questions. Find it. It's just, I'm telling you, when I realized this after Michael came out, it made me think about how I work on the floor, and more importantly, how my salespeople are on the floor. So, starts with a hello, ends with, will you buy a mattress from me? Thanks.